because for so long I was told that Planned Parenthood was just helping young mothers. They always swore they weren't for abortion. That was just, part of it. And now they want adults to marry kids. It's weird. Joining me now, Kingsley Cortes. She is the digital media manager, for the Center for Renewing America. Kingsley, it's so odd how all roads seem to lead back to pedophilia for these freaks.
You are absolutely correct, Jesse. And I just want to point out that, Planned Parenthood has never been an organization at all interested in protecting children. Their mission as an organization, quite literally, is to engage in the extermination of children. So we shouldn't be surprised that they're opposing a California law that would actually protect children from childhood marriage. And their claims, that this would somehow impede on the reproductive rights of minors is just totally preposterous. And I think that it is endemic of a problem that we are seeing emerging on the radical left. You talked about it in your intro here. It's pedophilia. Progressives are pushing this across the nation. We have to call it like it is. We have teachers that are discussing sexual acts with children as young as 3 years old in classrooms. We have state senators like California State Senator Scott Wiener who are advocating for legislation that would actually lessen penalties for adults who engage in oral or anal sex with minors who are underage. We have companies like Pornhub leaving red states that implement age verification laws to protect children from sexual adult content online. I mean, this is not your grandfather's Democratic Party or even your father's Democratic Party. We are truly up against individuals as right-wingers who are demonic and who are depraved, and we need to be engaging in these cultural battles because these people are just pure evil, Jesse.
You're 100% right. And Kingsley, I think about places like California, right? And you think about how left-wing that place is. And you mentioned Scott Wiener, who's one of the real world-class scumbags out there. And I just don't see there being a bottom to how far this thing descends. Because if you tell me there's a bottom, I would ask you, how? What stops it? It seems like there are no brakes left. It's all just a bunch of turbo freak demons that are just going to circle down and down and down until it gets to hell.
Yes, 100%. And I think a lot of conservatives don't really understand that the reason we've gotten here and why the slope is so slippery is because we've refused to engage on these cultural issues. We've kind of embraced this libertarian philosophy of live and let live. You do what you want, I'll do what I want, so long as, those two things don't hurt one another. That's a total fallacy. There's no multiculturalism. There's no shared values in a system like that. There will always be an orthodoxy that is enshrined in the public square. There needs to be one value set, one culture in order to have a flourishing and successful society. And unfortunately, we don't have that because we've just embraced wherever the wind takes you. We cannot laissez-faire our way out of this mess. I think conservatives need to really strap up, and they need to get comfortable with using power where we have it, whether that's, Republicans in Congress or whether that's the state level, the precinct level, whatever it is. We need to be using levers of power like the left does to achieve our ends, because if we do not, we're going to wake up and just realize that we've totally lost our country.
Yeah, that's a fact. One thing I am excited about is the new chick on Disney marketing clothes for girls. Here she is.
Let's get dressed. Today we're looking at the most iconic friend group, Disney's Mickey and Friends. And the character most like me is Minnie Mouse. And I have the most perfect dress to start the look. It even has little Mickeys on it, and I love how bold of a red it is. It's just like Minnie.
It's just, I don't know whether to be grossed out or laugh. Oh, it's me, Rachel. All right, quit. But why have we not been able to cancel Disney? Okay, we got Bud Light. Bud Light's gone. They learned their lesson. Yet Disney continues crap movie after crap movie, tranny after tranny. They got a dude apparently in Disney World with a beard at the princess clothing store. Why is Disney still going strong?
I think the answer is because Disney's kind of demographic, their fan base tends to be very left wing. We've seen a surge in, quote, Disney adults, right? Crazy single leftists who are childless, soulless. They're obsessed with going to Disney. I think that Bud Light's demographic and kind of fan base has always been a little bit more right wing, a little bit more conservative. And that's why those people really kind of gave them a taste of retribution when they decided to do the Dylan Mulvaney kind of sellout advertisement that they did. But I think, as conservatives, we need to be intolerant of woke corporations all across the political spectrum, even if they're leftist companies that we don't particularly care about or subscribe to. Because like I said earlier, this stuff has a tendency to fester and to infect other institutions. Media and culture is a very important thing. And I think, as conservatives, that's not really a sector that we've dominated. Typically, we've always been kind of business-minded, GDP-minded. But this cultural stuff matters because it really sets the tone for what our children are learning, what people are talking about on a pop culture kind of day-to-day basis. So we hear on the right all the time, we're anti-cancel culture. I'm actually pro-cancel culture. I think that stuff like this needs to be totally canceled. It has no place in our movement. This toxic, radical gender ideology needs to be wiped out completely. And I want to see conservatives do that, whether it's Disney or whether it's Bud Light.
Amen. Amen. Cancel culture all day long until victory. Kingsley, I want to ask you, because I'm very clearly not a woman, although I guess I could be in this day and age, and you are. I wanted to ask about feminism. It's been such a horrible movement for men and women, honestly. The men are miserable now, more miserable than they've ever been. The women are more miserable than they've ever been. We tell these girls when they're younger, you can do anything a man can do, and men suck. And soon she's 50 years old with short hair driving a Subaru, and she hates everything on earth. Are we finally willing to get women to come around and say, this has not been good, we're more miserable now than we've ever been?
Yeah, I think women are absolutely waking up to kind of how feminism has sold them a false bill of goods, right? They've been told, put off motherhood, put off, being a wife, being a homemaker, and go be a cog in that corporate machine, achieve the career kind of woman that we're all told, the girl boss. That's kind of what we're all supposed to aspire to. But what we're seeing is a generation of women that are more unhappy than any generation of women that has come before them. I mean, in history, it's just shocking. And sadly, Jesse, I think that a lot of these women are waking up to kind of the fake bill of goods that feminism has sold too late. I mean, women today are just realizing that they can't kind of reset course. They've gone down this path and there's no undoing it. Just to give you a statistic, in 1980, 65% of 25-year-olds were married. And today, 45% of women between the ages of 25 and 44 will be single and childless by 2030. I mean, that should shock us all to our core, the way society has slipped and these norms have just totally been discarded and thrown out. The left is truly trying through the feminist movement to destroy the nuclear family because they know that it is the strongest force against this neo-Marxist ideology that they are attempting to push. They're totally against having a man and a woman in a household with a bunch of kids. That's what they fear. And we need to encourage women to kind of recapture that which makes them uniquely female. I tell young women all the time, get married, embrace your femininity, have a bunch of kids. We should not be afraid to shy away from our God-given feminine spirit as women. It is what we were created to be, and we should celebrate that. Society should celebrate that again.
Amen. Get married, make a bunch of babies. You might even find yourself happy. Kingsley, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Jesse.